Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze is sponsored by Movie Group, founder of the Dream Network channel. Learn more at dreamnetworkchannel.com.
I wanna visit all the places nobody goes. I wanna teach all the things that nobody knows. I wanna grow wings, leave the coop, learn to fly. Bungee jump from the tallest building in Dubai. I wanna fly around town in my UFO. I wanna eat real food, not the GMOs. I wanna make moves, call the shots like the boss. I wanna love like I never lost.
Welcome back to Desertwood Days. Today we have an amazing guest for you. Let's welcome TV and film editor Siani Johnson. Hello there.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us today. So, I'm a hurry. Is that okay?
That's fine. I never know with people.
I don't either. That's why I always ask. You look like one of my cousins named Tammy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice.
You spit an image. You could be her
Twin.
little sister.
Doppelganger. I feel it.
So welcome. How have you been?
I've been good. How about yourself?
Good. So you're a TV and film editor.
Yes.
Tell us how that got started.
So as a kid, I was the only child, and I had a lot of free time on my hands. So I would use my dad's computer a lot with iMovie and just make like silly home videos or like, photo slideshows. But I figured that, hey, maybe this is a good thing for me to get into. So I went to film school, and from there just went into, freelance editing.
Oh my goodness. But how did that get started? Was there someone that inspired you? Or, I could see a kid getting on a phone or a computer playing around, but to just start editing and making movies, how did that get started? Did someone inspire you to do that?
I feel like my inspirations drew from the films that I watched as a kid, like The Wiz, a lot of Spike Lee's films. Sidney Poitier is also one of my favorite actors. So yeah, those people kind of inspired me. And also Ava DuVernay as well.
Okay,
she's one of my favorites.
Yes, those are some good talent that you listed there.
Yeah.
Some of my favorites also. Are you a native of Arizona?
No, I'm originally from Michigan, Kalamazoo. It's about there on the map of the mitten. But yeah, Kalamazoo is where I'm originally from.
Okay, and how long have you been here in Arizona?
About 2 years now.
Oh, well, welcome. And how's the 2 years been for you here?
It's been really nice. The summers have been a little hot, so that was an adjustment. But other than that, it's pretty good.
That's good. So you went to school for film editing. Did you go in Michigan or did you go here in Arizona?
I actually went to film school out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A school called Chatham University.
Okay. So how has the experience been here in Arizona as a film major, film editor?
Yeah, so most of my clients I work remotely. So I have one client here in Arizona, but the rest are across the states in Dallas and in Georgia, California as well.
Okay. So how long have you been doing this now?
I've been professionally freelancing for about a year now. So yeah.
So as a young person that wants to get into film editing and that went to school to get your degree in this, how did you get from, if you don't mind telling, how did you get from that point to a point where now you have clients across different states?
Yeah.
How did that happen for you?
So how it happened for me is with film school, we do a lot of our own projects, so that kind of helped in me filming and editing all the projects that I was on, and then from there, I had a really good friend down in Atlanta. He does music videos, so I helped him out with that, and that kind of got my foot in the door. And then, building my portfolio online and sending a lot of messages, emails, social media, reaching out to a lot of people. Eventually, that built a little bit more people, and then people started reaching out and word of mouth as well.
Okay.
So it's a process, but
it is,
it's
and
worth
you know what? And it's a process that is used in not just being an editor, being an actor, being a producer in other industries as well. And sometimes people want to skip steps.
yeah.
So that's why I wanted you to explain a little bit about that, because one of the things you said was you listed out networking.
Yeah, networking.
And a lot of people don't do that or don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, or don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So that is a very important key point to getting your brand out there. So, what is the name of your brand?
Well, my business is called Siani the Editor, named after me,
Okay.
in my profession. But it's under my corporation, Millelli Films,
Oh,
Incorporated, and so they kind of work in tandem.
okay. So, do you predominantly do just all editing?
Yes, but I'm also have a other business as well that's in production and editing called Temperance Productions. It's my business partner over there, but he's off camera. So we also do that as well.
Okay, okay. So I like to ask these little questions because we are an entertainment show, and there are people that want to learn. I mean, they're out there trying to get to where you are, and whatever you say may be beneficial for them.
Mhm.
Um, Being a female, and you know what? You don't see many female editors.
No.
It's a very heavily male-dominated field.
Yes.
How is that for you being a female? Do you feel like you're fighting two times as hard for jobs or to get noticed?
Yeah, sometimes a little bit, especially when I'm in places that people might not know me or know my work. And once I start talking to them about post production, they're a little taken back. They're like, "Whoa, okay, like she's a female and she's also black, has locks." So they're not.
And young. You
Yeah,
look
and
so
young.
young. You're probably not as young as you look, but you look very young.
Yeah, so they're a bit taken aback by all that. But after, we talk and get to know each other, they're like, okay, yeah, she knows what she's talking
They
about.
see you know what you're talking about. That is awesome. That is awesome. So, what advice would you give to a young female out there watching you that want to become an editor?
Yeah, I would say first thing is film all the stuff that you want to do because unfortunately you might not get paid just to edit right away. So you have to film a lot of the content that you'll be editing. And that kind of also helps your craft too in post production. It makes you really understand how to be a better editor and how to, collaborate with other people. And also turn to your friends
That's
too.
another key word you just laid out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Collaborate, being a team player.
Yes.
You know what? And that's hard for some people
Yeah.
because it's my project. I want to do it my way. And no, it's all collaboration because once you're done with what you do, it's handed off to someone else.
Yes.
And sometimes it may be a piece that, hey, you don't like the way it looks, or you may call your partner in to say, hey, what do you think about this or something. It's this whole industry is collaboration.
Yes, it is.
We don't do anything all on our own, and that's what people have to understand.
Yeah.
So I love the nuggets that you're dropping here today. Tell us about your very first project that you were excited about.
Okay, I'm gonna take it back a bit. My very first project ever with kind of semi-serious filming was in ninth grade. We had to do a documentary project, and our group decided to do one on air balloons.
Oh.
I'm sure if I look back at it, it's probably really bad, and I'm sure people's heads are cut off, and the audio's bad, and the editing's probably also bad. But humble beginnings, and everyone starts somewhere.
Right. That's cool. And so, was that a school project?
Yeah, it was a school project, oddly for our computer class, but it's kind of where I started my passion.
Oh, okay. So, going forward, what was your big project? Are you able to tell that it was a paid gig? What was that project like?
Like my very first paid project. My very first paid project was for a pilot, a scripted pilot, for a woman who was in Pittsburgh, but now she's out in LA. So that was my major first project. It was pretty cool because it was a Black female writer, director, and the cast was also predominantly Black as well. So that was pretty cool.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So, as an editor, is that predominantly your job, or do you do any other pieces in the film industry other than editing?
Yeah, so with editing, I find myself also doing color corrections, a little bit of sound corrections, as well as temp music and temp sound effects as well, and temp graphics. So it's kind of almost kind of everything.
Oh.
So yeah.
As an editor, which one of those would you say is the one that makes you want to pull your hair out?
I would say sound design and graphics. Those are very intricate, and for some reason, just like I don't have the patience. Like I'm just like it's good enough. I'll just send it out.
Right. I know I've heard lots of things. Oh, that darn sound is
Yeah.
just driving me crazy.
Yeah.
So sound is a key. So is that one that you would recommend getting more training on, or more? I mean, just more practice, or what is it that
Yeah.
is that you have to do to catch to really get that?
Yeah, I would say definitely if you want to go into sound and sound design, definitely study and practice a lot. If you're trying to be more like an editor, learn a little bit so you can, do temp sound and stuff like that. But definitely, yeah.
But as an editor, that isn't really your role to do the sound. Is that what you're saying?
Not on a full scale, like do temp temporary stuff so people can get a gist of what it is, and then it's sent out to the sound department for further revisions.
Wonderful. Siani, first I want to ask, when did you start growing your locks?
About 2 years. I kind of started the locking process when I moved out here because I
Oh.
was just tired of my natural hair.
And then
So,
being in the heat, yeah,
Yeah.
that was hard also.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just so excited. We have an editor here that's a female editor as well. I think she's my first female editor that I've met so far. So that's
Okay.
really cool. So Siani, we've talked about some of the projects that you've worked on. Are there any other projects that you've worked on that we may know about that you were the editor on that
Yeah.
you're able to talk about?
Yeah, so there's currently a film out called This Thing Is Not For You. It's written and directed by Ifani, and produced by Watts Production out in Dallas. They're two sisters, Kalisha and Kashelle Zachary.
Oh.
So check them out if you have the time. But the film is basically about this African family who's trying to grasp the concept of what it is to be American, living in American as African immigrants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Do you do a lot of films or projects that are of people of color?
Yeah, that's pretty much my go-to.
Is that your go-to?
Yeah, I'm really lucky to work with some great people. So yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So, and that's a good thing too. Being an editor, you're able to, because everything is done in your place of residence, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So you can take jobs all over the place because just email it or ship it off through a Dropbox or whatever app you're using.
Yeah.
So it's easiest for you to be able to take all those types of jobs that aren't local to you.
Yeah, it has its gives and take. I would say the major thing is communication. It's a little bit trickier with revisions and getting cuts back and forth because, the director, writer, producer is not in the room with you while you're cutting. But, it has its gives and takes.
So speaking of communication, as an editor, do you have a problem with, say, a director, producer, since that's not their specialty, with you trying to explain what you're trying to do to match what they want you to do? Is that ever a problem for you?
Yeah, definitely right at first when we get into like the first revisions, I ask a lot of questions so I make sure I'm understanding what they want. So just going back and forth with questions, even showing them examples, like, is this what you want? And going from there.
Okay. And you also, I just want to get this in there, you mentioned you have a partner and when your other business, what is it that you guys do together?
So our company is called Temperance Production, and we basically do testimonials, commercials, music videos, and we go from pre to post.
Oh,
So
okay.
all in one encompassing.
Wonderful, wonderful. So are there any other projects you're working on currently?
Yeah, so I also wrapped with Black Girls Film Camp. They're out in North Carolina, and what they're organizing.
Black Girls Home Camp?
Oh, Black Girls Film Camp.
Okay.
And Jamaica Anderson is who is the founder of the organization, and what they do is they create, they help teenage girls create their own short films.
Oh,
So I think it's like a 12-week camp, and they have mentors. I was the content editor for the team, but there was also a creative coach as well on the team, and then the teenager who writes their own films, directs their own films, and
that is awesome.
then we have a little film festival at the end. So
that is wonderful. So are you teaching editing to the children?
in a way, yes, but then they also have mentors from the industry who teach them editing as well.
Okay. Do you do any of that here in Arizona?
I've wanted to, but just finding the time is so hard. I know there's Lights Camera Discovery.
Yes, I was going to
So,
recommend
yeah,
them.
I've been checking them out and seeing. I
Yes.
think they just got a new building, so that's really
Yes.
nice.
Yeah,
But
they
they're on my radar.
She was on our guest. She was our guest in season 1.
Yeah,
she's a fab. I love what they're doing for the children.
it's amazing.
It is amazing. I love what you're doing also. I really do. And you know, I worked in IT for a lot of years, and that being a male dominated field, and I know the experiences that I've had. So I love what you're doing, and that's a way to show other women that you don't have to go into a role, being in hair, being in makeup, being in the roles that they see women being in filmmaking. You can be a producer, a director, an editor,
Yeah,
cinematographer, anything you want to be.
for sure, definitely.
So I love that you're showing them. So what advice would you give to a young Siani looking at you today?
I would say follow your dreams and make your own path. Nothing has to be super direct, but as long as you know what you want to do within your heart, then just go for it.
I like that. I like that. And that's the thing, is going with your heart, because there's going to be someone always telling you what to do or how you should do it, what route to take. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So if there was anything that you could have done different, could you think of that would have maybe advanced you or changed the way you do things now?
Yeah, a lot of things. I would think the major one is to have confidence in myself, because I feel a lot of times I feel imposter syndrome, or I second guess myself, especially being in the post-production world, and there's not a lot of people who look like me. But I would say have more confidence in myself and to just go for it. And no matter what in this industry, you're going to get a lot of no's, but all it takes
Right.
is a few yeses. So
Right. So with that being said, there's not many people that look like you, which is true in your industry, and being female and being a Black female at that. What is it that you would do different so that you would build up your confidence? I mean, you wouldn't allow that to stop you from doing what you're doing. What could you do differently?
I'm always for speaking positivity and speaking into things that you want to exist in the universe. So definitely doing that, and also just building your team and your community, people that surround you who know you and know what you want to do and will help you get there, and you'll help them along the way as well.
That's good. And being your authentic, you have to be your true authentic self,
Yeah, definitely.
and not allow anyone to change who you are.
Yeah.
And walk confident in yourself.
Especially in this industry.
Especially with your locks, girl.
Oh, thanks.
So, if with your business partner, I wish we could have had him on here to say a couple of things. Also, where do you see your business, and where would you like to see your business in 5 years?
With my post-production business, I would like it to be full functioning post-production house where I hire multiple people of color, multiple people, women, who are in post-production. With my other business, with Temperance, I want to see it be something like how Issa Rae is doing with Hooray, or something like that, where it's like a full production house, and we're making good content.
I like that. So what do you do? What do you do? What are your go-tos for marketing your business?
I would say maybe social media, but honestly, I'm kind of bad at promoting myself. But it's basically just making genuine connections with people, people that I find to be friends and things like that. Just working with them and doing it that way, basically word of mouth.
Do you feel that, let's say if there's a company that you want to work with, that's I don't want to, let's say, Honeywell. I'm gonna throw out a big name. Okay, do you feel that you're confident enough to reach out to them and promote your business to them?
Yeah, for sure. Depending on what their needs are, I'm always for the client is first. So if I'm not the best person for you, then I'm going to find someone who's better for you that fits your needs. So definitely.
That is wonderful. I love what you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
Keep up the great work. Where can our audience find you?
They can find me on social media at Siani the Editor, website, also email. All my information is pretty much linked.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us today. It was such a pleasure to have
thank
you
you.
here. And keep up the great work.
Oh, thank you.
Keep promoting yourself out there
Oh,
on social
trying.
media.
Trying.
And thank you for joining us. And we will catch you next time on Desertwood Days.
Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze was sponsored by Movie Group. Visit them at dreamnetworkchannel.com.